G'day everyone, how you doing? Hey, it's amazing watching what you guys are doing with all your recipes at home. Keep it up, it's really fantastic. The things that you're adding, the way that you're just putting things in that you like, taking things out that you don't like, that's brilliant. What we're going to do today is we're going to make a risotto. Now, one of my favourite dishes is risotto, yeah. So, and it's a little bit more technical than what we've been doing, so that's good. I think we're all ready for that. And we're going to use the greens, of course, from our garden. But just use whatever you've got in there. We've got broccoli, we've got the greens from all the leaves that we've been doing. If you've got snow peas, peas, it doesn't really matter. Just go around and pick a variety of stuff. I've even got a few flowers and things that are coming through. Like, we picked a few of the from the broad beans. The broccoli. Now I've cut the broccoli up and I've just jumped ahead a bit. I've just quickly sautéed that before we started today. So that's ready to go, but that's without just our broccoli. But the risotto. Now, the important thing is to be using arborio rice. Now, this is an Italian variety of rice. Super important. We're going to be using the Riverina Australian variety. Like with other rices, we wash it, we take all the, to make it nice and clean. With this, we want to keep the rice raw like this because it becomes nice and creamy when we cook it. It's a short grain rice, so like we couldn't do this dish if we were to use a jasmine rice or a long grain rice. It would just turn into mush. I've got some very finely diced onion, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of sour cream to finish, optional. Chicken stock. Now I hope you guys have been making your own chicken stock with your leftovers. We're going to finish with a little bit of grated parmesan and a squeeze of lemon just to freshen that up. So once again, really simple ingredients, beautiful fresh stuff from the garden. I actually, when I was going through the garden today, I noticed that someone else has been eating the veggies as well in the garden. So gone in and been very careful about checking for the bugs, although they taste all right. Okay, so we'll go up to the stove. Here we go. So just getting our pan hot. I've just put a little bit of olive oil in there. Now, when you're making risotto, I've got the chicken stock over the back here. Now it's really important when you're making risotto that stock's hot. So I've put that on before and brought that up to simmering. I'm just going to chuck a little bit of butter into the pot and put the onions in there. Now I want to saute those off, and that's about half an onion. Now when we're making a risotto, the amount of stock that you need is 3 parts stock to 1 part rice. So just think of that. That's a good way to judge how much the stock you'll need. I always do a little bit more because I like it just a little bit wet at the end to finish it. Now I've fried off the onions, bit of garlic will go in there, and we're going to cook that off. Now we don't want to get any colour in the onions this time. We're just going to saute those off. And then our rice, so that's a cup of rice, is going to go in to the pot. And then we mixed that butter and that oil through there so all the grains are coated. And we want that to be nice and hot. Now it's important that the rice is hot and that the stock is hot, so that when we put the stock in there, it absorbs beautifully. Now, like the onions, I don't want to get any colour on that rice. So I can hear that that's pretty hot in there and everything's nicely coated. So I'm going to start adding the stock. Now, what we want to do, this is going to take about 20 minutes to cook the rice. And what we do is we're going to add little bit by little bit. So we put some in. And we're going to just keep moving that. It's important. You can't walk away from your risotto. Once you've cooked it, you need to serve it straight away. So you can see how that stock has absorbed in. So I'll put another one in. And so basically, you could look at this and you could say maybe you're making a rice porridge, which is sort of, probably what you cooked before. Nice and creamy. You can already see how that rice is becoming nice and creamy. Now, so this is going to take about 10 minutes at this point, and then we'll come back. Guys, so this has been now cooking for about 15 minutes, and you can see how the rice grains have become quite plump. They've soaked up all that chicken stock that we've been putting in there. Now, if you were wanting to make this vegetarian, a vegetable stock's fine. So what we're going to add now is the broccoli, and as I said at the beginning, like I quickly sautéed that in this pot here before we started cooking the rice, just because it takes a little bit to cook. So we'll put that in and mix that through. Now, I think we need a little bit more stock because we want it to be nice and what we call loose. I'm going to put another couple of knobs of butter just to make it really rich and really creamy. Which is wonderful. I'm actually going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in now. A little bit of salt. I think risotto loves a good crack of pepper in there. And then we're going to fold all our greens. So we need to have enough liquid in this rice to wilt down our greens that we have out of the garden. All the different varieties we have. And so I'm just going to gently start to fold that through. And the heat in that rice is going to just wilt those down. That's looking really good now. I'm going to add another little spoon of the stock. And I sort of know how much more it's going to take in there because obviously I've got 3 parts of the stock to 1 part of rice. Now these things are optional, so I'm just going to put a little bit of cream in there, sour cream. I just think that little bit of acidity, that freshness in there is really nice. Kids are like that as well. And then we're going to put a little bit of grated parmesan in there. Now, you don't have to put parmesan in there. You don't need to put cheese. I mean, it really, really helps it. We like to do it, and we're going to put some on top. So we've got that in there. And you can see the way that it's all coming together. Beautiful. So I'm just going to let that now simmer for a couple more minutes until it all comes together, and then we'll put that up. Okay guys, so that's just come off the stove now, so we're ready to plate this up. Oh, it smells wonderful. So you want to make sure that your risotto is nice and soft and not too dry. You want it to be nice and wet. So we're going to put that in there. Look at that, all those beautiful greens. Terrific. A little bit more parmesan over the top. Wonderful. And we've just got a couple of little flowers off the broadbent to go on top to make that really pretty. But there's our garden greens risotto ready to go with a little bit of parmesan on top. Brilliant, I'll eat that.